Sorry I'm late, guys. I just got off the show with Bryce, but I've got very good news for San Francisco 49ers fans. Why I believe that Ricky Pearsall and Kyle Juszczyk are the key for the 49ers offense against Seattle. Shout out to everybody that's joined. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on replay, hit that hype button. That helps us get thrown into the algorithm as well. Before we get into what I want to talk about Ricky Pearsall and Kyle Juszczyk, obviously we got the news today. Fred Warner not playing. Didn't really suspect that he was going to be playing in this game. It just felt a little too early. If you watched Bully Ball on Tuesday, and that was before I saw the video of him practicing and hitting pads, I didn't think that he was going to be ready to go. Just felt a little early. And that's fine. I think that's fine. Loud. Okay, let me turn myself down. Sorry about that. Let me turn myself down. Thank you, Axel. Is that better? Um, so I didn't really think that he was going to play. It just felt a little early, and you know what? I'm okay with that because Eric Kendricks is he's playing. Garrett Wallow. Obviously, it's really nice to see D Winters as well too. I think that in this game, before I get into what's going to happen on offense, I think in this game, I think the 49ers run defense is completely different, and there's a lot of different moving parts right now. CJ West was incredible in that game against Philadelphia. Now, yes, a lot of what Philadelphia does, on offense and especially running the football is just, run the football up the middle with Saquon Barkley. No imagination or anything like that. But once the 49ers started remaining disciplined in their gaps, started actually holding the edge, Diamador Lenore, I'm looking at you, and Marcus Siegel making open field tackles as well too. Obviously, the Eagles made tons of errors on offense, right? Drop passes from Saquon Barkley, drop passes from AJ Brown. Jalen Hurts is not a good passer. All those things, manifested themselves, and that's really what had me confident. I do think that the run defense that you're going to see in this game is a lot different than what you saw in Week 18. And I will give credit to Seattle. And I don't know if anybody saw the show with me and Bryce. You can check it out. He does a great job for Seattle. He's very objective, and we had a great back and forth discussion. Obviously, I picked the 49ers to win. He picked Seattle to win. That seems fine. But what I noticed with what Seattle did in Week 18 was 20 of the 32 design runs that they had, they used motion. The EPA per play on those runs per 20 of the 20, they were in the high 0.19. That is really good. Now the other 12 where they didn't use motion, they were stonewalled essentially. And what does that mean, right? It just doesn't mean that just because they use motion, all of a sudden their run offense is hard to defend. It's getting guys in motion moving and blowing the 49ers off the ball. And that's the problem. Is the 49ers just got out physical in week 18. That's not the team that I saw though this past week. That's not the team that I saw in the second level. And when you have 18 missed tackles, you're not going to beat anybody that way. You clean up the missed tackles. You're more disciplined. You're in your gaps. These are the things that the 49ers are going to do a little bit better this week. Is it going to be as easy? No. You know why? Because Seattle's offense clears Philadelphia's offense. Let me explain. Yes, you can list the names. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. That sounds better than Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed, Kenneth Walker, Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, by the way. Let me make sure I make that clear. But with that cast of characters, there's no reason for that offense to look that way. But Seattle's offense is better, even if I think that Clay Kubiak is very, very... is it Clay or Clint? Whatever. The Kubiak who calls the plays for Seattle. I find him and his offense to be unimaginative. Completely. And in week 18, he started doing things that he wasn't doing all season. And the 49ers weren't ready for it. Try it again now. Try it again while we're more disciplined. Try it again while we're not missing tackles. And let's run it back. That's why I feel better about this. So I think defensively, the 49ers are more prepared now. And the fact that Marcus Siegel, and it just sucks because Jair Brown was having such a good game against Philadelphia. He was flying around. He was tackling. He was great. But when you have that hamstring injury, obviously, I didn't expect him to play this week. He's out. But this 49ers defense is going to look far different this time. And it's not going to be as easy. And yes, they gave up 13 points. And you're like, hey, they only gave up 13 points. But it didn't look like that. If you watch the game, it almost felt like they gave up 24 points, 27 points. The kicker misses 2 kicks and he never misses any. You're not going to win playing football like that on defense again. No matter how many points that the 49ers scored on offense, which was only 3. So I think that's more of a one-off. And that's what I believe as Julie is saying is the question was week 18 more of a what's real or a one-off? That's a one-off, in my opinion. That is a one-off. One, Trent Williams not playing in that game. Now you're getting blown off the football, and the protection is just wearing down. I don't suspect that that's going to happen now when the 49ers straight drop back and pass. 2, you didn't outside zone run once in this game because Austin Pleasance is out there, and you can't do it. And credit Seattle's defense. They're fast. And what I was kind of talking about with Bryce was Seattle, people have this misconception about Seattle loaded the box to stop the run. They don't load the box ever. You know why? They don't have to. Because they can defend the run from nickel. They can defend the run from whatever formation you want to come out in. They can defend the run. That's how good they are. You've got to give credit where credit is due. This game is still unstoppable force meets immovable object. But the 49ers offense is going to have something at their disposal, 2 things at their disposal, I think, this week, even with the loss of George Kittle, that I think is going to really affect this game. And I think that Kyle is going to have an entire week in which he understands who's going to be in, who's going to be out. Losing George Kittle in Philadelphia means that he's changing things up. I am going, and I'm going to say this, and I'm basing this off of nothing but vibes, nothing but conspiracy theory. But I think in week 18, he thought Ricky Pearsall was going to play. And I think he thought that because he practiced and everything, he was going to play, and I can game plan and scheme, and he's the man beater for us. And then he found out after the game plan was installed that he wasn't going to go. And that was tough. When you install something all week, when your walkthrough is based on all those things, when your call sheet is for plays for that player, and all of a sudden now he's gone, that's not helpful. And now you're scrambling 90 minutes before the game to try to figure out a way to create explosive plays against a defense that doesn't give up explosive plays. I think they give up the second least in the league through 18 weeks. But this game, I do believe that Ricky Pearsall plays. He says he's pretty optimistic. Kyle kind of threw some water on it. You know how Kyle is. Kyle is just like, well, we'll see. And, I hope that it's more that he can play. But Trent Williams is going to play in this game. But George Kittle's not going to play in this game. And just like it is every single year, every single week with the 49ers, win a game, lose a player. I don't know what deal we made with who. I don't know why this is happening, but it just seems to be happening. But I wanted to make sure that I got to, some plays that I think the 49ers are going to dust off that they've used at times, because I do think this offense resembles, because of who's hurt and who's here and who's not here, years past offenses. Meaning like 2019. And that's where I'm going to start first. Because in 2019, remember the offense. It's Raheem Mostert, it's Jimmy Garoppolo, it's Emmanuel Sanders, it's Kendrick Bourne. Obviously Kittle played in that game, but the offense wasn't exactly like explosive, right? Like they didn't have like guys that they can get the ball down the field. Part of that is the quarterback. Like don't get me misconstrued in any way. But I do want to kind of show, let me make sure I got this right. I do kind of want to show examples, and I hope I don't get demonetized for this, but you know what? Like, I'm just going to go ahead and try it. Hopefully if I do it quick enough, I don't have to worry about being demonetized. But I don't know if you guys remember this one, and hopefully this plays. All right, so look, this is, if you remember, this is the Dre Greenlaw game, okay? And the 49ers had just got scored on, right? And you've got, that's Emmanuel Sanders up here at the top. That's Kyle Juszczyk here. You got Kittle in motion. Oh, that's Deebo Samuel. I forgot Deebo Samuel. I'm sorry. The 2019 offense when I was talking about explosives. I apologize. I pull that back. That 2019 offense, I'm not going to disrespect Deebo. So I pull that back. I'm sorry. I completely forgot about Deebo. That's on me. Deebo was great, especially down the stretch. And he scored a touchdown in this game, by the way. But Kyle Juszczyk is out here. And yes, everybody's going to run to, hey, it's Jake Tonjes' time. And that makes sense. Jake Tonjes is going to see the football. But Jake Tonjes isn't this guy that's just going to be able to wiggle through man coverage. And, I don't think that Seattle's going to lose him, especially given the fact that he scored on the Dwight Clark-esque touchdown in week 1. But I want you to watch Kyle, because Kyle runs this little like stutter, and then the route itself is called stalk rail. And they create an explosive on the first play after a scoring drive against Seattle. Now look, Seattle's defense that you're looking at is nowhere near the caliber of the Seattle defense that you're about to see on Saturday. I understand that. What I am trying to show you is the play designs and how at times everyone else is worried. Seattle's worried about Emmanuel Sanders. They're worried about George Kittle. They're worried about Deebo Samuel. Now, for the 49ers in this game, you're going to be worried about Christian McCaffrey. That's Raheem Mostert, obviously. Christian McCaffrey, Jawan Jennings, Demarcus Robinson, Ricky Pearsall, hopefully somewhere, right? But I want you to watch this route that he runs, and obviously you guys know the play that's coming, and what's about to happen. But he runs like a slow run, and then he's gone. Stutter rail, boom, and now Jimmy hits it. It's an explosive to a fullback, right? So you have all these guys on the field, right? George Kittle goes in motion right there. You have Deebo Samuel on the field. You have Mostert. You have Emmanuel Sanders. We need an explosive play. Jimmy gets a wide open Kyle Juszczyk. I suspect that there's going to be more of these type plays in this game that are going to be there for the San Francisco 49ers. And they're going to have to take every single thing out of the bag, right? They're not going to be able to leave this game without unloading the bag. And that right there is one of those plays. Now, I'm going to show you another one, which is another example of it, but it wasn't connected. And Jimmy misses. But Juszczyk is open. I'm going to show you real quick. I don't want you guys to get upset because Kyle Shanahan is very upset in this play. Hold on, let me pause this. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I get everything right for you guys. Kyle Juszczyk is very, 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 very wide open. I want to make sure that I say that. Very wide open. But the problem is that Jimmy, unfortunately misses. And I don't think Brock's going to miss these, because I do think that Kyle is going to be able to scheme these things open, and he's going to look at, okay, everybody's playing close. All the secondary members are up on our guys. DeMarcus, by the way, I want to make sure I say this as well too. DeMarcus Robinson, his 2 big plays on that first drive were on Quinyon Mitchell. So I want to make sure that there's this misconception because Quinyon Mitchell has the 2 interceptions. That's cool. But you got whipped twice on the same drive. So you're not it's not impossible to throw the football on you. I think Reek Willens played very well. I think Devin Witherspoon is great. It's not impossible to throw the football on them. So I want to make sure that we crack this illusion that the 49ers will have no sort of success against this Seattle defense, no sort of success against this Seattle corners, because Quinyon Mitchell's an all-pro. He was named an all-pro the day before Demarcus Robinson put a 50-yard play on his head, and then right after that scored a touchdown. So he's not unbeatable. Nobody's unbeatable. When you scheme it right, when you're executing properly, you can do it to anybody. But I'll show you this one, and I see Axel, he says Titans play. No, not that one. Not that one. I could get to that one. I just didn't cut it up and put it on Twitter, and it's hard to dig in the film archives, right? Because I even had a hard time trying to find the 2019 Seattle game. I can't believe we're in 2026. You have to delete like the files out like of the Google Drive. But I want to show you one. Let me share my screen real quick. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, let's get to it. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So this one is called Wide Leak, right? So you see Kyle Juszczyk here. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember this game. This is during the COVID season. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, that's Jermichael Hasty. 49ers legend in the backfield. But I want you to watch. This is how they were able to get Kyle Juszczyk and spring him, right? So you get Juszczyk and you get him in line with the line. Look, and you have him run down the line, and then you have him run the wheel. Look, it's open. Look at Kyle. Hold on. Look at Kyle. Hold on. I don't want to piss anybody off because Kyle was already pissed off. But here it is. Look at Kyle. What is he supposed to do? He called it. He lined it up. Kyle Juszczyk is there, circled. Get him over. Get him across the line where he gets lost in the shuffle. Bang. Wide open. Put it on him. Put it on him. We're going to watch it from another angle because I cut it this way. That is Jermichael Hasty, if I'm not mistaken. Look again. Kyle Juszczyk sliding across. Everyone thinks run. Put it on him. Put it on him, Jimmy. Put it on him. So that's kind of where I am right now. The thing is this. Oh, you guys didn't see any of that? Oh no. All right. Let me try one more time. All right, so real quick, chat. Did you see the first play? Did you guys see the first play? Because that would there's no small screen anymore. All right, hold on. I'll try one more time. Give me 1 second. Did you guys see the first play at least? Please tell me you saw the first play at least. At least the NFL won't steal his money yet. Okay, you guys saw the first play. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try one more time. Just give me a sec. I got you. Just give me 1 more sec. I got you. Shout out to everybody in here. If you're in here, make sure you drop a like. I don't even know if I want to show this again because it's gonna piss so many people off. But I just want to show you that there are play designs and there are plays that are designed for Kyle Juszczyk. And I think that it's going to be imperative that the 49ers use him and use him as a way to not only create explosives, but use him in a way to actually run, keep the 49ers on schedule with their offense, right? Okay, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm working, guys. I apologize. All right, I'm going to do share screen one more time. We saw the first part. Perfect. Okay, good. Saw the first part. All right, share screen. Let's do this. Share. Are you guys good? Let me look on here. You guys, let's see. Do you guys see now? Because I think I see it on the screen now. I'll make it bigger and then I'll run it again for you guys. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know if you guys can see it. I'm trying my best to... Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay. All right. And let me just bring this back. Okay. Hold on. I'm not going to press play yet until other people say, okay, yes, now. Okay, yes, got it. We see it, Unc. Keep playing with me, Axel. Keep playing with me. All right. All right. So... you see where Kyle Juszczyk is, right? We're going to get him in motion in line. And we are going to get him confused on the defense. Watch. Look, off the play action. Here's what you're looking at. Off the play action. Slides under. Wide open. Jimmy, give it to him. Look at Kyle. Here, I'll do it again. I want you to watch Kyle now at the bottom. Not Juszczyk. I want you to watch Kyle. So you get him here. You get him to slide because it looks like he's blocking on the play action. Now look at Kyle. He's furious. He can't take it anymore. I'm going to let you guys watch it from the other angle. This is the type of stuff that Kyle's able to scheme open. This is why he had to get away from Jimmy. Look it. I understand there's a guy in your face. Just put it. Put it on him. I'm gonna let it play one more time right now. Again, he gets in line. The idea is to sell the play action, have him look like he's down blocking, and then he runs a wheel route. Look at that completion. And then look at Kyle. Kyle is just, he was sick of it. In 2020, he was sick of it. So I think the 49ers are going to get back to a lot of these things that they have for Kyle Juszczyk. And I know, guys, I know Kyle Juszczyk gets a lot of shit. What do, right? I still believe that the two best games that Kyle Juszczyk has played in his entire 49ers career have happened this season. It was the Bears game in which he was blocking his ass off, and obviously Christian McCaffrey had canyons to run through. And it was last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And everything that the 49ers were able to do in terms of, let's just say, and I'm gonna stop sharing this because I don't want you guys to get too pissed off. Everything that the 49ers were able to do that was viable on first and second down to try to keep themselves on schedule was based on what Kyle Juszczyk was able to do. This is the game where Kyle Juszczyk is going to make his money. This has to be it. Ricky Pearsall's got to play in this game. He's got to play in this game. This is it, man. I haven't said anything about Ricky. I haven't said a thing about him. PCL injuries isn't about gutting it out. It's about stability. I'm going to give you guys some quick insight into what's been going on with me health-wise and why I kind of understand what's going on with Ricky. I've been in and out of the hospital with 2 herniated discs. The discs are up against my nerve, and I've lost the use of my legs. Seriously. And I've been walking around with a cane. I'm 41 years old. I've been walking around with a cane because when I try to walk on my own, my knee just gives out and I fall. I've fallen multiple times. That's what he's dealing with the PCL. It's not a matter of gutting it out. It's a matter of if you try to push off on that foot, on that leg, your knee's going to give out. The PCL's not strong enough. If he can't push off, he can't play football. That's what he's been waiting for. So that's why I've held back the whole, is Ricky Pearsall tough? He's not soft. Now you can be upset that he's been injured and there's been multiple things. But if you can't run, if you can't turn, if you can't cut, like you can fall. And shout out to everybody. Thank you for saying that. Like I've been holding it back, but there's days when I can't get out of bed. There's days when I can't stand up. Walking to my bathroom is a chore. I've got an 8-year-old and a 1-year-old. You think it's easy to try to move around when you're walking around with a cane because my herniated discs are up against a nerve and it's forcing me to lose the feeling in my legs? That's what he's dealing with. That's what a PCL injury is. It's not a matter of him gutting it out. You can't run. You can't cut. You can't move. But what I am going to say about Ricky Pearsall is this. If he plays and he's ready to go, his impact on this offense is going to make a drastic difference. Let me explain. In week 1, Ricky Pearsall went for 408, if I'm not mistaken. And that's against a Seattle defense that Seattle defense in week 1 is not walking through that door in week 18. Thank God we played them in week 1 because they didn't have it figured out. But if you don't have a downfield threat, if you don't have a guy that is going to threaten the defense in any way, this Seattle defense plays too fast. They can come down and they can trigger downfield, and now they don't have anything to worry about over their head. To put it in perspective, in week 1, Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Russell Gage each had over 20 snaps at wide receiver in this game. Both of them. George Kittle left this game after his first touchdown catch. Ricky Pearsall ends up with 100 and something yards in this game. He doesn't need to have 100 something yards in this game. It would be very nice. But if you want Jake Tonjes to perform, if you want Juwan Jennings to make catches, if you want Kyle Juszczyk to make catches, Ricky Pearsall has to be on the field and 100% and moving down the field, because Seattle's defense is too fast. Seattle's defense, if they don't have any sort of downfield issue, anything like that, they can play too close to the line of scrimmage. They can play too fast, and they don't even need to load the box to stop the run. I don't suspect the San Francisco 49ers are going to be able to run the football in this game. Yes, Trent Williams is back. Yes, you should run the football behind Trent Williams. 100%. Sure, you're going to gain yards behind Trent Williams. But this 49ers offense is not going to be able to run the football against the Seattle defense. Think about how hard it was for them to run against Philadelphia's defense. Seattle's better. So everything that's going to have to happen on offense is going to have to be extension of the run type of pass plays. Is going to have to be explosive plays created off of run looks, meaning like that Juszczyk play I just showed you, in which you're running play action and Juszczyk is in line and he kind of slides through and you get him wide open. And it's going to have to be the 49ers at least showing the run just a little bit, right? Like, you can't abandon it, and you're not going to be able to just straight drop back against the Seattle defense. It's just not a recipe for success. But the 49ers offense is going to have to be predicated about how they pass the ball in this game. And they're going to have to pass it short. They're going to have to pass it long. They're going to have to pass it intermediate. They're going to have to throw the football in this game. And it's going to work on certain drives. It's going to have to work. It won't work on certain drives. And that's the way this offense is going to be able to gain yards. What Kyle Juszczyk was able to do in Philadelphia is going to be very similar to what he has to do in this game, which is be the second check down, because Christian McCaffrey is going to get the brunt of the looks, right? Nick Emmanwori is going to come on down and try to cover Christian McCaffrey. Kyle Juszczyk wants more opportunities. Kyle Juszczyk, he's been used in line as a tight end type this season. He has. And I know you want Jake Tonjes to get the football. He's going to have to get the football. You're running out of options on who to throw it to, so obviously he's going to be involved. I just feel like the two guys that really can unlock this game and really, really have to step up are going to have to be Kyle Juszczyk and Ricky Pearsall. And I think that Kyle Shanahan believes the same thing. I really, really think that he believes the same thing. He's going to have to find a way to show you in a run look what you're looking at, and then Kyle Juszczyk slides out and you're able to throw him the football. You might have to use Ricky Pearsall as clear out routes. That's what they used Marquez Valdes-Scantling as in week 1. That's all he was. Clear out routes. Just run down the field, take one defender with you, take another safety with you. We can run a backside dig to Ricky Pearsall in that way. Ricky Pearsall is going to have to be that now sometimes. And if he's even able to draw another secondary member, perhaps a linebacker, out of the way, it opens up different windows for Brock Purdy. The importance of Ricky Pearsall playing in this game is really, really, really going to be what hinges on how the 49ers have a chance to win this game. I truly believe the 49ers defense is going to play much better than they did. And you're probably asking yourself right now, Jason, how can they play better than they did last matchup in week 18? They only give up 13 points. Did it feel like they only gave up 13 points watching that game? It felt like they gave up 24, 27. It felt like they went for it on fourth down, they didn't get it. 2 missed field goals. The 49ers actually made plays on defense. You have to give them credit. They slowed down the run, but they got nothing as far as pressure on Sam Darnold. Where this team is going to make their money in this game, on defense, is the run defense is going to have to force Sam Darnold into situations where he's going to have to throw the football on 3rd and 7, on 3rd and 9, on 3rd and 8. But the only way to do that is to slow down the run. If Seattle's in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, all game long, they're able to do whatever they want. They'll ask Sam Darnold to throw a 4-yard pass to A.J. Barner. Or just run the football, if that's how effective they've been running. I suspect the 49ers defense is going to play better in this game. But the key to the 49ers winning this game is going to be on offense and how Ricky Pearsall affects the defense and makes them believe that there's a downfield threat, wins against man coverage, because I don't think that Seattle is going to just start rolling coverage Ricky Pearsall's way. As I said with Bryce, I really do believe that Mike McDonald is going to be fine with saying, beat us, Ricky Pearsall. Give us the game of your life. We dare you. I don't know if he needs the game of his life for the 49ers to win. I know the 49ers can't afford to turn the football over. But you need that sort of downfield threat. That's how you get Juwan Jennings open. That's how you wind up with Demarcus Robinson running down the field by himself. That's how you get Jake Tonjes opportunities. Hell, that's how you're going to get Christian McCaffrey one-on-one on a linebacker as opposed to Nick Emenwari, because he has to go back and not be close to the line of scrimmage. So I want everyone to understand that Ricky Pearsall not playing, it's not a matter of, is he tough? Is he gutting it out? It's stability. If you can't push off on that knee, and you can't run at full speed, and you can't get in and out of your breaks, you can't play because you're ineffective. But I do think that right now, if he does play, which he's tracking to play, he seems optimistic. That's the key to kind of unlocking everything else that's underneath, because everything was so hard in week 18, trying to gain yards. Everything. Every single play looked tough. Nothing looked easy. Things looked easy sometimes against the Philadelphia Eagles. You saw it. The first drive looked easy. But it never looked easy against Seattle. And Seattle's different than Philadelphia. Seattle's better on both sides of the ball. I don't care what the names are with Philadelphia's offense. Seattle's offense is better. And their quarterback's better. But the 49ers on offense need somebody who's going to threaten downfield, and Ricky Pearsall has to play in this game. And the 49ers are going to be able to create explosive plays on the back of Kyle Juszczyk. And I know that sounds crazy, but everything has to be at Kyle Shanahan's disposal. He has to empty the bag, and everybody has to be on board with it. And I think that's where he's going, because I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to run the football. If they do, oh, God help Seattle. If they find a way to run the football and, they're on first down, when they run the football, they're looking at 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 4. Yeah, Seattle, you're in trouble. Now everything's play action. Now everything is like, that just makes things easier. I just have too much respect for Seattle's defense to think that the best run defense in football is all of a sudden just going to start giving it up. So I think there's so many ways for the 49ers to have continued success on offense in terms of keeping the offense on schedule. 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. And it's going to have to be throws. It's going to have to be throws underneath to Kyle Juszczyk. But when you create the explosives are going to have to come off of the back of the fact that Seattle's going to have to respect Ricky Pearsall. 35 minutes in, 108 people in here. Shout out to you guys. I feel like I've been rambling. Hit that like button. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Today's Thursday, 2 days away from the game. I'm excited. I'm really happy with this team, and you guys know all that. But I wanted to go through some other stuff real quick, and bear with me. I'm trying to share screen thing. My Mac is ancient. Let's just make sure we put it that way. I ran through a whole film thing and nobody saw it. But I wanted to I wanted to break down a few other things that we were looking at when it comes to how this team can find ways to generate plays, and also you have to replace George Kittle, right? How do you replace George Kittle? No easy task. No easy task. All right. Share screen. All right. Let's see. Let's do it. Share audio tab. Absolutely not, because Niners Nation is awful when it comes to all of the audio and the videos and all that stuff that's on there. Let me see. Just waiting for it to pop up. I don't know why it's not. There we go. Okay. So, and I'll read it verbatim for the people that are watching. Replacing George Kittle. Obviously, the replacement as the receiving tight end is Jay Tonjes. The 49ers have the NFL highest usage of 21 personnel. You can expect more from Kyle Juszczyk. Juice is going to be on the field as a run blocker. You got to expect Shanahan to show some looks that are going to be fullback, like him as a fullback, but you have to be able to use him to throw the football to him on positive gains. Again, against the Eagles, he was used in that same way. Tonjes will be involved, but I fully expect a heavier dose of Juszczyk. This is some easy betting advice. No matter what it is that Kyle Juszczyk's receiving number is, take the over. Last week, it was 12.5. The easiest money I ever made in my life. He got that on one catch, let alone the other 40, right? So running the football successfully, right? And I wanted to tell you why I believe Seattle's defense is so good running the football, right? Okay. So against the run, EPA-wise, Seattle's the best. That's minus 0.17. Remember, minus is good. Negative is good on defense. Negative is not good on offense. The difference is Trent Williams is going to play, right? That's a big thing. But Seattle has the second highest rate of light boxes at 78.3. They never stacked the box. They didn't do it in Week 18, and they didn't have to. And they've got the highest EPA defending runs, minus 0.19, and the second highest on inside runs, minus 0.20. The 49ers can't abandon the run, but they have to at least get some sort of running game going. And I know Christian McCaffrey said, there's lanes. And you know what? Looking at the film, there was definitely times where he was missing lanes. I think it was a little bit of pressing. I think it was a little bit of, just understanding that Seattle's defense, you really can't make too many mistakes against them. So Week 18 was probably one of his weaker games ever, right? As far as the 49ers defense, this is really where I found myself watching the film. See, look. See, this is why I had to turn off the audio. There's a clip that jumps up. Seattle didn't use motion in the NFL. They didn't use it this season. They ranked 13th, 56.9% rate. And what makes that shocking is that Kubiak, that's all he did when he was with the Saints. And early on, I don't know if you remember, that was last year. Derek Carr and the Saints offense, they were lighting people up. It was all based on motion. They had the number one motion offense. They were throwing the football down the field. Rashid Shaheed was one of the guys they were throwing the football at. But that number was low, 56.9, right? And I don't know what that is for. But I wanted to point out what they did in week 18, what they kind of busted out of nowhere. 32 rushes in week 18, 20 used motion. It generated 0.06 per rush. That's great. But the other 12 that were not with motion, minus 0.05 per rush. That's a stark difference. That's not something that should be ignored. So the 49ers just have to stay disciplined. Stay in your gap. Understand that guys are going to be coming at you. You can't get blown off the football. You just can't get blown off the football. And the 49ers have to remain physical. The 49ers have to remain physical. And they can't get blown off the football. That's the one thing that I think will change in this game. Is the 49ers will take this game personally. They don't like the way that they were portrayed. They don't like what they put on film. Trent Williams will give them a little nasty edge. And I think it was Ricky Pearsall that said in an acronym FGK, and it's not what you think it is. It means for George Kittle. I think a lot of the guys are going to rally around that. What else are you going to throw at this team? Why would you bet against this team right now when everything is thrown at them? I expect Kyle to come out. I expect Kyle to take punches. I expect Seattle to throw punches. But I expect Kyle to hit haymakers in this game. And a lot of that stuff is going to have to be through, you're going to see Kyle Juszczyk catching the ball far down the field. You're going to watch Ricky Pearsall catch a pass and have yak after the play. Everybody knows the ball is going to Christian McCaffrey. But those two are going to be the reason that the 49ers offense will be able to sustain drives one way or another. Kyle Juszczyk is going to be invaluable, run blocking, outside zone. You got to get to Ernest Jones. You're going to run behind Trent Williams, get to Ernest Jones, wipe him out. Give Christian McCaffrey a chance. The 49ers need both of these guys. And I think I'm looking at it in a way where what's different from this team this week than last week? And this is the difference. No George Kittle. More Kyle Juszczyk. Ricky Pearsall is going to play. Confidence. Third time's the charm. You watch what Seattle did on defense. You don't think the 49ers are upset that Seattle left a bunch of cigars in the visitors' locker room? They better be. I'm upset and I don't even play for the 49ers. So many things are going to be different. But I do think there are examples of ways that they can get Kyle Juszczyk the ball down the field. I think there's ways for them to use Ricky Pearsall, whether he's catching the football or not, to clear out for Jawan Jennings, Demarcus Robinson, Jake Tonjes, who are all going to have to be involved. But the 49ers cannot allow themselves to get beat that bad off the ball. And that's what I'm betting on. You have to be able to be physical. You can't get punched in the mouth. You cannot be someone who is just going to allow the bullies can't get bullied in this one. If you're the bullies, then bully them. And get back to who you are as the San Francisco 49ers. I shouted out. I've been talking for like about 43 minutes. A shout out to the 109 people in here. I'll stick around for about 17 minutes. I got a free screening of the new 49ers documentary. So I'm going to get to check that out early. I won't be able to write about it until the embargo's up, but I was hoping to take a look at that. So that's some pretty exciting news, but I'll take some questions. Any type of questions, anything that you guys have, as long as it has nothing to do with the electrical substation. I will not answer any questions about that. I have a brain, and I have a bunch of brain cells that are still working, okay? But I'll take questions if you guys have any about anything that has to do either with this game, the season, possibly the future, whatever it is that you guys want. But I have a much better feeling about this game than I did with I have a much better feeling about this game, even though I picked the 49ers to win in week 18. I have a much better feeling about this game than I did that game. I was not as confident. Clearly you guys know that I was confident against Philadelphia. You knew that I never a doubt, right? This time I'm feeling far more confident than I ever was. with the Week 18 thing. Thoughts on the electrical substation? Did the electrical substation stop working in 2023 when every single 49er made it through the season and then Dre Greenlaw just in the Super Bowl? Come on, guys. Did it take a year off? Stop. Please. They've been practicing there since 1988. Stop. How is it that in 2023, all of a sudden, the substation had nothing to do and the 49ers had the best injury luck that they've had the entire time with Kyle Shanahan? Stop. It's nonsense. Even the people that are trying to prove it, they're just talking shit, saying a bunch of bullshit. We've got a game on Saturday in which the San Francisco 49ers are playing in the playoffs. There's X's and O's. There's scheme. There's rivalry. There's how can the 49ers win? And we're talking about a fucking electrical substation. My fucking God. Christ almighty help us. Please, let's focus on what's going on. Please. All right, let's see. Dilo says, do they keep this is Dylan. Do they keep playing Wallow on the field if Winter plays? I doubt it, but man, Garrett Wallow, what is it that Andrew called him? GW unit? I like that one. What a hooper. I didn't realize who he was. I wasn't familiar with his game. Denver's practice squad. But no, Winters will play next to Kendricks. And I'm okay with that. I do believe that a lot of the stuff that Winters had going on early in the year was playing next to Fred Warner. And I'm not trying to say that Kendricks is Fred Warner, but Kendricks is smart. And he's going to direct and be able to put him in a good spot. So as long as the 49ers don't miss 18 tackles, I think they should be all right in this one. So that's why I feel much better about them against this run game. 100%. Anthony says, are we going to see CMC in the Wildcat like Jet? Didn't we see him in that, that cursed 2022 NFC Championship game? Do that? By the way, that Wildcat play against Jet went for a 3-yard loss. One of the more satisfying things in my NFL media career was being able to ask him about that at the Super Bowl in Arizona. And that video is on the YouTube if you want to check it out. He remembered the play perfectly. He was a good sport about it. But yeah, long running joke on our channel. Shout out to Andrew Pasquini as well too. Keeping the Faith says, thoughts on the Seahawks being pissed at their season ticket holders for listing playoff tickets for sale. Y'all sad. Like, you just like, we travel. We take over your stadium. No matter where it's at. We do what we want. The 49ers fan base is from everywhere. If you've ever gone to a 49ers game in opposing city, right? Anywhere. New Orleans, Tampa Bay, New York. There's all these 49ers chapters. Like Niners chapter of New Jersey. I was like, I've been living here my whole life. I've never heard of any of this. Like, that weekend for the 49ers, there was the invasion, there was Chapman's party, then there was another party in Elizabeth the entire week. Like, we're everywhere, and we come from everywhere. You'll meet 49ers fans from all parts of the country, all parts of the world. People from London come. Crazy, man. Points for why San Francisco will win. They're more emotional this time. Kyle Shanahan won't allow another embarrassing performance. Niner fans are in for a rude awakening. Okay, well, you're a Seahawks fan. I don't expect you to, feel any other way. But just make sure when we do the instant reaction, make sure you pop back up. Because the one thing I can't stand is, I'm not mad at you for popping your shit. Pop your shit. But don't run. Don't run. Come back. After instant reaction and you say, good game. Because, and it's not just you, and it's not just Seahawks fans. It's all the opposing fans. They pop that shit. They in here talking and puffing their chest out, and then you never see them again. Me, I gotta do this regardless. So I'm not going nowhere. But don't pop your shit and run. That's the only thing I ask. If you're gonna come in here and pop your shit, which I don't blame you, do your thing. That's what I would do. Just don't run. Because when I do my instant reaction and I start blowing my mic out and I'm yelling, I'm going to yell about you. And you're going to get embarrassed. So when I come back, if you guys do what you think you're going to do, then come back and pop your shit. But if you don't, I'm going to embarrass you. No pressure, buddy. No pressure. Exactly. Dylan, Don Bird's my king. Exactly. Like, there's plenty of fans that talk crazy and then they come back and, like, that's great, But that's why I don't go into other people's chats and all that stuff. I have my own channel. I talk. That's it. I say what I got to say, and that's it. But don't pop your shit in and run. That shit's coward shit. And if you come back and you say I told you so and you want, good. You deserve to. But that running shit, don't run. Don't run. You shouldn't have put yourself in it because nobody was asking you to get in it. Don't come in here popping your shit in and run. It's not how men do things. So I'm just letting you know. I'm not mad at you for, popping your shit, but come back. Come back and talk that shit after your team loses. Come back and say good game, 49ers. Come back and say, hey, you were better than us today. Because if it goes the other way, that's what I'm going to have to say. And I don't get a chance to run. I don't get a chance to not do this. So, no pressure. But I'm going to remember. And I'm going to let it fly. I don't know if you know about me, but instant reactions gets a little wild. I don't really do analysis. I just do talking my shit. And you got a problem with that. That instant reaction with Philly, man. Oh man, that one's in the books. That one is in the books. That's the best one ever. That's the best one ever. None of the Eagles fans pop back up. None of them. None of them. That's the best one ever. Smoke Burp says, let me see. Oh, my bad. I pressed it. It didn't pop up. I'm a Seahawks fan. You're all right, bro. Respect. Hell yeah. Look, man. I got respect for Seattle. I'm in here right now telling you how much respect I got for you guys. I ran down why you guys have such an amazing defense. I think the world of Mike McDonald. I'm pissed that y'all drafted Nick Emenwari. You're going to be annoying for a while. I'm a fan, but I'm not delusional. So don't get me fucked up. I'm always going to keep it a buck. And if you watch the instant reaction after week 18, I gave nothing but credit to you. I didn't make it seem like the 49ers lost that game because they did anything wrong or like, oh, it was unlucky. They got their ass whipped. They did. I'm always going to keep it a buck. I'm a 49ers fan, but I'm always going to keep it a buck. Always going to keep it a buck. That's all I can do. It's the only way that I can move on this channel. That's it. The only way you gain credibility. People like the Homer shit though. I'm like, I'll keep it a band about that. People like the Homer shit though. They like the eternally optimistic, everything's great, nothing's ever wrong. And if you like that concept, that's fine. There's plenty of people for that. I'm just not one of those guys. Not me. I have a sicko football mind where I look at things and I'm like, shit, the 49ers are my favorite team, but they're lacking here. They're lacking here. This is where this team is better here. This is what they need to do that's a little bit different. I pride myself on trying to be objective, Yeah. So I appreciate that, Smoke Burp. See, that's the best compliment that anybody can give. I saw that on Vin's podcast. I can tell you know ball deeper than most on ESPN. Not really many people on ESPN know ball. I thought I saw one of them saying that Kaiser White was running around making plays during the game. Kaiser White didn't take a single snap. So But I appreciate that. I really do. The end of the day, man, I'm a 49ers fan. I have my opinions. My opinions are not always to be agreed with. I'm not always right. Um, so I just tell it how it is. I keep it how it is, or how I see it. I just call it how I see it. And how I see it can be wrong. I would never ever tell anybody that I'm always right about everything. The only thing I'm always right about is that Jalen Hurts isn't a good quarterback and the Philadelphia Eagles suck. I'm always right about that. Always right about that. I'll give that to myself. Yeah, and this is perfect, right? Um, Charlie Kirk caught 3 touchdowns. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith out of his mouth. I was like, damn. I thought I watched every minute of that game. Charlie Kirk, man, 3 touchdowns. It's impressive. It's very impressive. It's very impressive. All right. Let's see. Keeping the faith. Who's your 49ers X Factor this Saturday? On offense is Kyle Juszczyk. That's going to be the guy that they're not looking at all in this one. On defense, Marcus Siegel. Marcus Siegel is going to have to play. If he played his best game against Philadelphia, he's going to have to play his best game against Seattle. He's going to have to play close to the line of scrimmage. You can't miss any tackles. He's going to have to play well in coverage. Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be somebody that obviously, nobody's really having an easy time covering. But Marcus Siegel, you were thrown into the fire in Philadelphia. Keep it going. This is the biggest game of your life. Every game that you play from now on this season is the biggest game in your life. Marcus Siegel on defense, Kyle Juszczyk on offense. I got Kyle Juszczyk having a very big game in this game, and making plays in this game as well too. 100%. Doug says Londoners are very dedicated fans. They have to watch most of their games after midnight. That's absolutely true. The faithful are everywhere. I've met them in London, Paris, Brussels, and Cologne. I hope it's Cologne. That's how I see it. But yeah, guys, I really believe that the 49ers offense, if Ricky Pearsall plays with Kyle Juszczyk, you're going to see something that's very different. I don't suspect that the 49ers are going to be able to run the football, but I do suspect that if those guys are playing, the 49ers are going to have their opportunities, and they're going to score more than 3 points. They're going to score more than 3 points. I'll give you that. And yes, they gave up 13 points to Seattle, but I do think the 49ers defense tightens up this week. Not Tennessee tightens up, just they tighten up in general. D. Winters is back. Eric Kendricks is making a difference. If you don't miss tackles, great. Upton Stout's playing much better. Marcus Siegel, you're going to be the one that we're really, really looking for. CJ West has been great. That is a great development, especially considering he's a rookie. Keon White's going to have to help. Everybody's going to have to play well in this game, and I think the 49ers defense is going to play much better. Diamond Lenore, I know you're watching. Set the edge. Just set the damn edge, man. Just get out there and set the edge. That's it. Yeah. Let's see. Big Brick says, Jason, do you think Seattle played their hand too early and showed us too much in Week 18? Will they have anything left to surprise us on Saturday? I think so, actually. I don't think that they played their hand. But I do think that wrinkle with them using so much motion on running plays, that was very interesting. And I'll give them that. That was very interesting. Because I had been giving Kubiak so much shit for the way that offense was unimaginative. Nothing changed. And for them to be able to do that, it was their way of, one, showing a different look, but they got so physical. And they were able to get guys in motion and move them fast and move them and knock Niners off the ball. The Niners can't get their ass whipped like that. So if they want to keep doing that, that's fine. It's on tape now. Salah's seen it. But they are going to have to throw the football in this game because I do suspect the 49ers are going to be able to slow down the run just a little bit more. And it's not going to be as easy as all that. Like, if they give up 19 yards on a 3rd and 17, we've got bigger problems than anything. I just don't suspect that to happen again. So, here's the thing. And here's how the 49ers are going to have to live. You are going to have to, on 1st and 2nd down, leave them on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Now Sam Darnold throw the football. He was not in any sort of rough situations in Week 18. And he didn't have to be. Credit to them. Why would you want your quarterback to be in those situations? When you're running the football that well, you don't have to do any of those things. And he made timely throws. But if you're consistently putting him in a spot where it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, make a throw, make a play, that's when you'll start to see the ball bounce a certain way. Maybe he throws one into somebody's belly. But if you're not putting him in a spot where he has to throw the football, he can't throw interceptions. He hasn't thrown a touchdown yet against the 49ers in 2 games. He hasn't thrown an interception either. He only has the fumble that Nick Bosa stripped from him to win the game in week 1. But that's the key. Slow down the run. I'll take my chances with Sam Darnold beating us. I will. I have to see it to believe it. Do I think he's capable? For sure. Do I think that he can do it? Yeah. Do I need him to see it? Yeah. And will I take my chances against that? Absolutely, yeah. But you can't do that until you stop the run on early downs. And that's been the problem with the 49ers. Did I miss something? What happened with State of the Franchise? You and Brad, listen, man. Brad and me are so locked in. Still, like that's my dog. He tore his patella tendon. I have 2 herniated discs and can't even walk, and I'm walking with a cane. We're so locked in that not only are the 49ers injured, the 49ers content creators are injured. We both got families. We both got, kids, and we weren't able to line it up. He's got responsibilities, all that stuff. But me and Brad are so dedicated to the brand that we're both injured. I just came back from the doctor. I got to start physical therapy this week. I might be a candidate for back surgery. We not beefing at all. It's my dog. Fucking love Brad Graham. But yeah, he tore his patella tendon. I got 2 herniated discs. I lost use of my legs. I'm walking with a cane. Not making that shit look fly, but I'm walking with a cane. That's how locked in we are. Not only are we still rolling as content creators, we're committed to the bit. We're injured too. The electric substation got us. It got me in Jersey. I woke up one day and I had 2 herniated discs. I didn't do shit but lay down. That's all I'm saying. Look, man. You need to count your lucky stars. Okay? Okay? I don't know how you walk away from that Panthers game. Because I told you. Your secondary's garbage. Lake came back, by the way. Lake doesn't play cornerback. I told you your secondary's garbage. You got picked on. Your special teams is trash. Trevor Etienne tried to give it to you twice. And it took you with a game-winning drive against the Carolina Panthers. Why are you so confident? Explain it to me. We beat the Eagles 23-19. That was way more belt to ass. And it's only a 4-point win. Than what you did to the Carolina Panthers? And now y'all still going to the bowl? I told you, Rod. I told you. Secondary, trash. Doesn't matter that Lake's back. Lake's a safety. He doesn't play cornerback. Throw it to Emmanuel Forbes. Throw at 49ers legend, Ahkello Witherspoon. It doesn't help your secondary. Secondary equals basura. Special teams, garbaggio. That's how you lose games in the playoffs. So I would be very happy that my team won. But I also would be very thankful and praying to Superman and thanking him for how you got out of that game with a win. Because if it was anybody other than the Carolina Panthers, oh baby, the slander would be on. Slander's kind of on. But oh baby, play like that again against anybody. Secondary not trash, just suspect. Semantics, tomato, tomato. Potato, potato. Quentin Lake is not a cornerback, so don't bring him up. A safety does not mask what cornerbacks have to do. That's why I don't understand why you kept bringing that up. And even him, he was getting his ass whipped. And that was Teteroa McMillan and Jalen Coker. Ooh, baby. Have fun with the Chicago Bears. Have fun. Caleb's on one. Have fun. Oh, baby. You got a whole different mess of problems. I wouldn't necessarily, be talking about like, oh, us against Seattle. You got some business to take care of in Chicago because Chicago's not playing with y'all. Woo. Either way. What? No way. That better not be true. That better not be true. That is going to piss me off to no end. That better not be true. I know baseball is definitely not a real sport or anything like that. Keeping the Faith says, any game day superstitions? Yeah, actually. I watch the 49ers alone. And I don't make a sound when I watch the game. No matter what happens. The reason that I don't watch alone, the reason that I don't watch with people, well, one, I have my notepad and I'm taking notes down because I want to remember, what's going on, and I want to remember certain moments so I could bring it up on instant reaction and everything. And then when I go to write my articles, I want to put it all together. And then, obviously I go back and I watch the game. But two, I don't want anybody to think that I'm a weirdo because I don't speak during the game. I don't speak. I'm just watching, right? I feel bad. Week 1 against Seattle, and we'll get out of here. We've been vibing. Shout out to everybody. Still 100 people in here. Again, man, please drop a like on here. If you're watching on a replay, that hype button, you got to hit it, man. That helps us out so much, man. And subscribe. We've gained a lot of subscribers based on, instant reactions and everything. But week 1 against Seattle, my father came over and he wanted to watch the game with me. And, I feel bad because, like, I told my father, this is my job. And he wants to have a conversation about something that has nothing to do with football. Has nothing to do with the game. And I'm just looking at him like I don't want to be rude because, my father's getting up there in age and I want to value as much time as I can get with him. But I don't watch I don't watch the 49ers with people because I don't want anybody to think I'm weird. I'm not being weird and I'm not being rude. I'm just taking it all in and I'm taking it all in pause and I'm writing down, right? Like stuff that I want to talk about. So, my game day superstition is that I watch it by myself, in my room, always. I don't invite people over to watch the game with me. I don't sit and watch with my brother, nothing like that. Hell, I don't even want, I don't want my kids in the room. I'm not a father when the Niners are playing, right? If my son wanted to be in the room, I would just say, go with your mom. If my daughter was in the room, I would just say, go with your mom. So, yeah, my game day superstition is I'm just quiet. And I just don't want anybody to think I'm weird, It's not like that. It's not like that, Junior says, I'm a silent watcher until the fourth quarter. Okay, I will walk this back a little bit. When Brock threw that touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey, I screamed as loud as I could. But I was quiet and I was holding it in. But then once that was done, I went right back to locked in because I knew the Eagles had a chance with the ball and the 49ers had to get one more stop. So I'll walk that back. But for the most part, I'm very, very quiet. Very quiet. That's why when you see me pop off in the instant reaction and I start yelling and I blow out my mic, it's because I've been holding all that in. And I want to share that with y'all because we're 49ers fans. And I want to share that emotion with you. I hope that I'm conveying the emotions that you feel, even if I'm crass and cursing. It's just who I am. I'm eccentric. At times obnoxious. 100%. 100%. If you're not a 49ers fan, I could completely understand why you wouldn't want to watch me. Shit, 49ers fans don't even like it when I yell like that. But I'm not going to mask who I am because I want to share with, you guys. And I'm happy to share with you guys because I know you're happy. And I want us to all be happy. And I know how hard this game is. So that's kind of just where I'm at when it comes to all that. You know? I hope that you guys are feeling the same emotions that I am. You don't have to curse as much as me. I don't know how I'm not demonetized at this point. But those are raw emotions. That's what the instant reaction is. It's raw emotions. That's why when we do sprint right option the next day, we do calm, right? We've pulled it in. But instant reaction is supposed to be just that. It's supposed to be how I'm feeling in the moment. It's supposed to be at least trying to convey the things that you guys are feeling. Hopefully, I'm a conduit for you. I'm the voice for you, right? I'm the person that is like vocalizing the things that you want to say. That's what I hope. And if I'm not, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to change who I am. And that's why the instant reactions are the way that they are. So, yeah, that Philly instant reaction, that's the one right there. I think the two best, most satisfying instant reactions this season is the Philly one and the first Rams win. The first Rams win with Mac Jones. Just because both of those games felt like everybody was just saying the 49ers had no chance to win. And I made sure that I was 10 toes and I looked at everybody dead in their eyes all week and I said, listen, never a doubt. Never a doubt. I always pick the 49ers to win, clearly, right? I always pick the 49ers to win. But I'm more confident in certain weeks. And those 2 weeks, I knew it. And I was not going to be convinced otherwise. Nobody was going to tell me anything that was going to change my mind. I knew that those weeks. I'm getting there right now with the 49ers right here this week. I'm getting there. I need one more injury report to come out. Or I need Ricky Pearsall to be full go. I need Ricky Pearsall go. He's playing. No limitations. I need that. If I get that, that's when I'm going to start really, really, really popping it. But tomorrow we got sprint right option with Andrew. Bryce is going to be back. Hopefully we get some news. Maybe somebody will say something, about, Josina Anderson, Adam Schefter. One of them will say that Ricky's playing. If I get that, yeah, we're going to start getting back to, to popping it. And again, if you're scared, go to church. If you think this game is over, put it all on Seattle. I'll never. But I just need to find out if Ricky's going to play in this game. If Ricky plays in this game, then now we're moving. Because I already know that Kyle is going to have things installed that are going to fix what happened in Week 18. And having Ricky Pearsall there is going to change things drastically and open things up for other guys. All right, guys. Hour 15 minutes almost, 104 people in here. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching, run that hype up. That helps us out so much. You can check it out on the YouTube app. If you just scroll to the side from save, it's there. The hype button helps us out a ton if you're watching on replay. I think Ricky Pearsall and Kyle Juszczyk are the key for the 49ers offense. If you're looking to read about what I wrote about them, check out NinersNation.com. Both articles are up. And I'll be having an article up tomorrow. Tomorrow, sprint right option. And if you missed it, check out the video that I just did with Bryce Coots of Hawks Eye Podcast. Very good content creator. He'll be back on sprint right option. One of the few guests that I have that actually is objective, knows ball, and is somebody who can point out all of the flaws and everything that they've got going on. But I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy your Thursday evening. For Jay, as always, go Niners.